Father, we thank you again for your loving kindness and for your tender mercy. We thank you for this time of sharing and coming together. We pray, God, for the wisdom, those board members that serve this capacity. We pray, God, that you will give them guidance and understanding in what's necessary to move this city in the proper direction. We thank you, God, for what you've been doing and what you're going to do. Bless us now in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Madam City Clerk, if we could, the roll call, please.
Timothy Jefferson. Patty Wilson. Here. Megan Beville. Here. Christopher Hollister.
Here.
Leanne Pierce.
Here.
And Chair Elizabeth Van Murray.
Here,
Did I say it right?
almost.
Okay.
That's, I'm not worried about it. Moving on to our meeting purpose disclosure. The purpose of the Historical Preservation Board is to steward the architecture of properties in our city's historic districts by applying the guidelines of the Secretary of the Interior standards for historic preservation. Next item on the agenda is the appeals procedure and ex parte communication. Ladies and gentlemen, anything that we would like to talk about in the way of ex parte communication? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the appeals procedure. Any person wishing to appeal any decision made by the Historical Preservation Board with respect to any matter considered at such meeting will need a record of the proceedings, and for which purpose may need to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. Florida Statute 286.0105. Moving on to item 2 of our agenda, the approval of the minutes from the September 4th meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Indeed, did we see any corrections? All right, in that case, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I'll go ahead and make motion to approve.
Thank you,
I'll
Ms.
second
Pierce.
it.
Thank you, Ms. Vogt. We have a motion and a second to approve the September 4th minutes. All in favor, please say aye. Aye, and opposed. Excellent. Moving along to the next segment of our meeting, which is public comment. Let's open public comment, and please remember that this is not related to agenda items. For the specific agenda items, we will have our own section of public comment there. It's a tough crowd. All right, seeing no general public comments, let's go ahead and close public comments down and move on to item 4 on our agenda, which is indeed new business. Item A, HPB 25-25 501 Kirby Street. It is a request to obtain an after-the-fact COA for the installation of a wooden handicapped ramp. The owner is Mr. Kevin Gonzalez, and I see from our packet that he has also appointed a representative who is here as well, Ms. Reese. Welcome. Let's begin as we always do with a report from city staff. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everybody. And for the record, it's Kenneth Gonzalez, not Kevin. Okay. This is a request to obtain an after-the-fact certificate of appropriateness for the exterior wooden handicap ramp that has been installed on the structure of this property. The parcel is located at 501 Kirby Street in the South Historic District. The applicant is Mr. Kenneth Gonzalez, and also Ms. Marton Reese is present. He is Mr. Gonzalez's caregiver and resides at the property. The ramp consists of wooden body, wood railings, and also there's photographs to illustrate where the ramp is placed at the front door of the structure. Mr. Gonzalez is a veteran that was in the hospital at the time the ramp was built by the church. According to the Florida Master Site File, the house is an example of a Victorian frame vernacular residence built between 1892 and 1897. The home is not eligible for National Register, but is significant as part of the district at a local level. The Florida Master Site File has been included in the agenda. The applicant is here if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Brown. Do we have questions for Ms. Brown? Not at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm desperately trying to turn my phone off and it is not helping. All right. Mr. Gonzalez, did you wish to speak with us about this? Tell us a little bit about the project, or would you prefer Ms. Reese speak with us, or what?
She was taking
Well, you know what?
charge of it while I was in the hospital.
If you wouldn't mind, please, if you could approach and just, we can certainly bring a chair up for you if that would be more comfortable for you. We'll do anything that we can to accommodate you, sir. But if you would, please just give your name and
Okay.
area of residence for the record. Thank you.
Okay, I was in the hospital when all this was done. I was having a lot of problems, walking and everything. So I didn't know it had been done until I got home. I was gone for several weeks. That's all I know about it. I'm here now. Okay, I'm here now. Okay. You can hear me now.
Do we have questions for Mr. Gonzalez regarding the handicap ramp? I always go on the record as saying that we prefer to hear about things before they're done as opposed to an after the
Well,
fact COA. But in your case, it sounds like there are some extenuating circumstances, sir, and you were the recipient of a very lovely thing to do for you. It just didn't quite follow the protocol that we're
well,
used
like I
to.
said, I wasn't there. I couldn't have done anything about it.
Oh, well, you are with us today and we appreciate you being here, sir.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
thank you for your service.
All right.
If we don't have questions of Mr. Gonzalez, perhaps we should allow him to go ahead and take a seat.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Let's go ahead and open up to public comment. Okay. Again, seeing no public comment, we will move beyond that to board discussion. Ladies, gentlemen, yes, Ms. Vogt.
The only thing that I am concerned about is that the structure is secure, that it's like the top rails and everything look kind of thin. And maybe they need to beef those up a little bit or whatever, but it's not looking as strong and as safe maybe as it needs to be, especially if you're having trouble walking
Mhm.
and stuff. So maybe they can add something to it with the rails, see how thin they are.
As the two of us were.
I'm sorry, Ms. Oh, did you wish to come up and speak to the, okay.
I don't know if they can get the church to
Yeah.
maybe come and make sure that those rails are more substantial and all of that, because it just looks, the bottom of it doesn't look bad. It's just the rails and the side pieces that look a little weak. Like with a lot of rains and a lot of use, it might end up being a hinder as opposed to helping you.
Something for the applicant to think about.
Yes.
By the same token, one of the questions that I thought of was, how is it fastened to the building? And then I thought, well, if it's freestanding, actually, it's really better for the building itself. So I kind of moved on from that thought. Okay, so we've had a little bit of discussion and observation. Would anyone like to move forward with this? Remember, I don't do that. That's not my part.
I'll move forward to go ahead and approve the COA after the fact based on the circumstances. And I hope you check into that just for yourself for the safety.
I'll second that.
Thank you. We have a motion by Ms. Vogt, a second by Mr. Hollister to approve an after the fact COA for the property located at 501 Kirby Street. Any additional discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Excellent. Thank you very much. And again, sir, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
Ready?
Okay, moving on to item B under new business. This is HPB 25-27, a property located at 417 North Third Street. It is a request for a COA for various improvements. The owners are Sean Francis Helmer and Shannon Elaine Lummert Helmer. Let's begin with city staff.
Yes, good afternoon, Chair Van Rensburg and board members. My name is Ryan Mickles, planner with the city of Palatka. The applicants, who are the property owners, are requesting a certificate of appropriateness for improvements at their residence and property located in the city of Palatka North Historic District. Per section 54-78 of the city code, a certificate of appropriateness is required to erect, construct, or alter a structure or sign located or to be located in a historic district. A 2.5-story single-family dwelling exists on the property along with an unroofed 26 by 7-foot by 29-foot concrete structure in the rear of the property. The Florida Master Site File has the house constructed between 1884 and 1886 and states that the house is a fine example of a well-detailed frame vernacular residence. The Florida Master State File notes that the earlier previous owners included Robert and Mary Reed, Edgar and Kate Dunning, Margaret Anderson, and Oliver Parent. As referenced in the Florida Master Site File, this house is located in a neighborhood of other large frame dwellings built along Third Street during the last quarter of the 19th century. Figure 1 and 2 in the staff report show a survey of 417 North Third Street, a location map and street and a Google Street View image. For the proposed improvements, the Helmers are proposing to remove or replace most of the existing windows on the first and second floors of the house. The applicants are also proposing to remove doors and replace another door that is currently damaged. A detailed list of existing windows and doors has been provided by the applicants and is attached to the staff report. The applicants have provided the manufacturer and specifications for the windows and doors proposed, and that should be the Colby Ultra Series. Regarding the proposed demolitions, staircase, storage area, and a concrete structure. So there's an existing metal staircase and there's an existing storage area located on the outside rear of the house. The Helmers are going to remove these features, or proposing to remove these features, which appear not to be part of the original construction of the house. The applicants will repair any wood siding needed after its removal to blend with the home. There's an existing 774 square foot concrete structure located on the northeast corner of the property. The structure is 1 to 2.2 feet from the side and rear property lines and has vegetation along its top. The Helmers are proposing to demolish the structure since it will not serve a function or have a utilitarian need at their residence. The Helmers are proposing to replace the existing metal roof with a dark colored roof. The existing metal roof on the house is in good condition. However, the property owners prefer the aesthetics of a dark colored metal roof. An example of this dark color metal roof currently exists in Palatka's North and South Historic District. The applicants are also proposing to change the exterior paint color of the house to either Sea Serpent or Gale Force, brands of the Sherwin-Williams Company. Most trim work around windows and doors will be either white or black dark colored. And I think we actually have a board here that we can show that better depicts the color if need be. So in conclusion, the Helmers are proposing to remove and replace windows and doors. These improvements provide the preferred aesthetics to the home. Also proposed are the removals of an outdoor rear staircase and storage area, along with an unroofed concrete block structure that does not serve a utilitarian purpose. The applicants are proposing to change the exterior paint color of the house to either Sea Serpent or Gale Force. In addition, the applicants are proposing to change the metal roof to a dark color roof, which examples can be found in both the North and South Historic Districts. The applicants believe the proposal keeps within the existing character of the property, as well as makes the home more efficient. And I have Palatka's newest property owners and residents here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you so much. Ladies, gentlemen, at this time, do we have questions for city staff?
I have a question.
Yes,
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
When you say replace all the windows in the first and second floors and the doors, that's in the existing holes that are there when you remove the old ones, and nothing is going to be changed as far as the sizing. Is that correct?
Yes, most of the windows and doors will be either removed or replaced. Right now, I think there is a bit of a mismatch. I think there are maybe 2 or 3 different styles of windows that are currently exist. On the both the first and second floor towards the rear of the property, I think there are some windows that the property owners would like to remove altogether. They're sort of like the smaller sized windows, which there are photos attached in the back of the report. The doors, for example, I think they're also going to be either removed or replaced with the Colby series. I think they're going to, in one case, put in a sliding glass door in the kitchen area, or what will be the kitchen area. And I think they're going to replace one set of French doors with another set of French doors.
So there would be a replacement of a now existing window to a sliding door in the kitchen area. And then there's, you said back windows, like this top one that's a little like about this big. That would be eliminated, or
Hey Karen, can we go to page?
that is page 17 in what you've given us.
Yes, page 17.
It's
would be a good
it's
place.
the same one that you have for the sliding glass doors, but Mike, that's what I'm assuming I'm not assuming, I can read it. But at the top of that side of the building, there's a little skinny window at the top, and I didn't know if that was one of the ones you were mentioning a few minutes ago when you were saying smaller windows in the back.
Yeah, I think perhaps page 16 is a better illustration of the smaller window.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Yes, at the top there, that window will be removed on both the first and second floor. In fact, that whole side will be a solid wall.
So both those windows would be removed, and the window on the back structure there, which you have circled, would be turned into a sliding glass door. That's what you have written here, replaced with sliding glass door.
No,
On
the
page
slide,
17, on 17.
yes, 17
Yeah.
would be a sliding glass door. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I just needed to understand a few of these things. Thank you.
Sure.
I have a question. What's the construction of the windows? What are they made out of?
Yeah,
You got 3 different types of windows in there. You've got some.
If you
Yeah,
would,
You have a couple of vinyl fixed windows that don't open, don't do anything. You've got a couple of the old aluminum crank out windows, and then you've got the weighted sash windows.
Yeah.
And our intention is on the weighted sash windows on the front, on the original structure, because you can see if you look at it that there's been multiple additions added to the structure since its original build. On the front, and again, I'm from the other coast, so east, west, and north kind of messes me up over here. But as you're looking at the building, the front of the building and both sides of the original structure, those windows would be swapped out for new windows that were size on size and that were architecturally appropriate. And they would be the Colby windows that we spoke about. The other windows that would be on the left, both upper and lower, on one of the additions or part of the additions. And there are some sash windows back there, as well as the aluminum crank and the fixed windows. We would like to eliminate them because we want to do something on the interior that doesn't require windows.
The construction of the windows you want to put in, those are wooden windows? She's shaking.
I
her head.
believe they are.
Yeah, okay.
And before we get too far gone on the whole thing, if you would please just introduce yourself for our records and let us know your city of residence. I know it seems redundant at this point, but
I'm Sean. This is my wife Shannon.
We've been together since the sixth grade and he's vertically challenged since then as
No.
well. But,
We're from Palmetto,
yeah.
which is Manatee County over on the other coast.
well, welcome to Palatka.
Thank
Welcome to
you.
the neighborhood.
Yes. We came here a year and a half ago looking at another property. We had never been to Palatka or heard of Palatka, but we were looking for an older home to restore. We made an offer on the home they didn't accept, but that didn't discourage us. And then we ended up buying actually 10 acres out by Interlaken, which we will build on when we're ready to not climb stairs anymore and live there as well. But I fell in love with the historical district and this home spoke to me when we came in and it's beautiful. The one section that might be a little confusing, the French doors you were referring to back there, we purchased for the property out there for the build. We're building a barnuminium style home there. But we had purchased pillow windows originally and still have them slated for that property. We have one sliding glass door that we're not going to utilize that we'd like to utilize in place of the French doors that have rotted out in this current house. We've got it boarded up on the bottom and taped and everything. So that's where we'd like to raise a header and put a sliding glass door that will eventually go out. We'll come visit you again with another certificate of appropriateness for a deck outside on that area to go from the kitchen area directly out to that deck. So that's the slider. The area in the back where we'd like to eliminate the two doors and the stairs and the side windows there, that was, you can, if you were to come to the house, you could see that was once upon a time a porch that I think they closed in at some point and then added those windows. The original boards to the home are on the inside of that wall. So you can see, we'd like to eliminate the windows there, have a pantry downstairs for the kitchen, upstairs a laundry room.
So those doors would be eliminated and then basically sheeted over with appropriate siding.
And we've contacted a cedar company.
Cypress.
Cypress company that has siding just to make when we're ready for that step.
Thank you. That is something that we absolutely love to hear.
Yes, yes. We love the home. The home is absolutely beautiful. We don't want to do anything to change the aesthetics of the home. We want to improve it. I think it's needed some love for a while. And we're excited about the opportunity. It's our retirement. We're getting close to retiring and this is where we've chosen to be. So.
Well, excellent.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And absolutely, I'm sure you, of course, already realize the incredible historical importance of that structure.
I can
And-
tell you all about it. Ryan was very good to clue me in on everything. So, and I share that with everybody I come across. So they're always fascinated. So.
I would imagine too, and you know, this is just me speaking as a former neighbor.
Mhm.
There were some very interesting details that were taken away in the,
Unfortunately.
yeah, if you ever find it in your heart to come before us and put that back, I think everybody would be thrilled.
I have the skill set to replicate that if I can get clearer pictures of exactly what that railing looked like.
Exactly. You're talking about the
But
balusters, yeah.
that is well within my skill set.
Excellent. Well,
That's
sounds
good to know.
I was gonna say, what are you doing Thursday, sir?
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
We did paint the colors on a board for you guys to just reference for the colors a little bit more. We put white kilts on so it would show it. We've fallen in love with Gal Forest, which is a little bit more of a blue as opposed to a gray tone here. We'd like to change the body of the house to that and then keep everything that's currently white on the house, the trim, yes, the soffit there. We'd like to go with a darker tone roof. And the windows we're proposing are wood. I believe they're wood on the outside and they're double hung. So they would replicate what's there now. I mean, we've got some massive, we got 9 8-foot windows there to replace. So it's a costly endeavor for us. We want to make it energy efficient. We want to bring the home a little bit current, but still respect the age of the home. So I don't know if you guys want to get this or not, but
I can see it.
Thank you.
yeah.
Did you have anything else that you would like to share with us? We didn't really give you the opportunity. We just threw a question out there.
This
No,
is all
she-
new for me.
She's been locked and loaded to give you guys
This
a
is
thing
new-
for
this
a
is
while.
new for us.
So
We've dealt with homeowners associations before. I've worked with homeowners associations. And we certainly want to respect the historical aspect of the community and it makes me think of To Kill a Mockingbird here. I don't know. I love your little area. So, and we want to add to it. So, and we do have other projects that we want to come back and visit you with. But this is where we'd like to start. The painting wouldn't take place until well down the road, but the interior is what we're working now. And we've got a wonderful quote from a gentleman in Crescent Heights for the roof. It would be a standing seam 24 gauge metal roof. So it would be aesthetically very beautiful. And then the windows would be inserted from KMF out of Ocala. They have a contracting company there with windows.
Typically, just to let you know,
Uh-huh.
what we normally do when we have multiple facets is we'll
Mhm.
break it down and just go piece by piece.
Certainly.
So just bear with us as, you know, we start going through. We might have more questions for you when the time comes, but at the moment, do we have questions initially for our new homeowners? Ms. Biville?
What will the light pattern be on the windows? There's so many different, there's 1/1, there's 6/1.
Yes.
well, currently what's there is 2/1, 1/1, 3/1, plus the none and the crank out windows. It's probably going to be either a 2/1 or a 2/2, depending on once we really get into the weeds with the window manufacturer as to what they can replicate with what their ability to replicate actually is. But it's going to be as close to what's there as the manufacturer can make it.
Which I think we referenced in the pictures, and I think it's more of a 2/1 is what we saw there. Just to allow for a little bit more of a view out. I love the multi-panes on the right-hand side of the house, but that's impossible to replicate through, with those size windows any longer. But, the sliding glass door that we're proposing to put in is, there's a kind of a picture of it, but it is the same thing where it has at the top of that window is a grid pattern. Won't be seen by anybody in the street, but if anybody comes over for dinner, they would see it. But it's the same type of grid pattern that we'd like to replace. The French doors, the front door we're keeping, and then the door directly on top of it, it has 2 arches. We like that door as well, just for insulation and also for sound and everything. The French doors that are up on the 2nd floor that come off the master bedroom there, or the primary bedroom, is multiple windows panes there now. I would like to have something that would blend with the other windows as well, which I think I put in an example of that as well.
By the way, your packet was a delight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I had more, but he cut a lot out already. So he said, we're gonna start here and we'll go from here. But anyway, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'll gladly come over and take out the front doors and transom, and you gotta replace that.
Oh, I believe the front door
Oh,
was,
front door is not
yeah.
enough, but I did find somebody, there's some damage on the stained glass, but I found a wonderful gentleman who actually is from St. Augustine that will come and take the window and repair it. So we're looking to do that.
Pat Bronson put those doors in.
I'm sorry, into the microphone?
I'm sorry, Pat Bronson, who owned the property, she put those doors in probably about 20 years ago.
Yes, it wasn't the original door because I think there was a transom window and a photo that I had seen from one of the original doors. But
Yes.
I like these doors very much, and that caught our attention as we first went into the home. So
Excellent. Thank you. Do we have other questions for the property owners? If not, I see we have some adjacent property owners. Let's go ahead and open up to well, I have to, I'll get fired. So let's go. Let's go ahead and open up to public comment.
I'm just really.
If you would, come on up. Not that we don't know who you are, but name and general
Helen Muir,
geographic location.
220 Madison Street. We're your new neighbors, sorry.
to the right-hand side, yes.
And no, I'm just very happy because that house has, even before I live where I live now, I would always feel sorry for that house. So it's good to know it's going to be loved and taken care of, and it will be a benefit to the whole community. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Muir. And for the record, Madam City Clerk Helen Muir. Thank you. Seeing no other public comments, let's go ahead and close those down. Discussion amongst the board. As I mentioned, we typically take these items one at a time. My suggestion, if you agree, is to make number 1, the windows and doors, number 2, the metal staircase, shed structure, and amphitheater in the backyard. Number 3 would be the roof, and number 4 would be painting of the house. Does that sound like a logical way to progress? All right, let's talk windows and doors. I'm feeling fairly confident. I like the 2/1. I like the fact that according to what I read in the packet, you won't really be able to see the window for the trim on the outside, but it will protect and give more energy efficiency, but it won't change the look. We don't typically take into account things that cannot be seen from the road, so I don't believe that future projects that come with COAs, by the way, thank you for coming to us for a COA, so we didn't have to find you. That is not really within our purview. If we can't see it, it's not much to do with us in a lot of circumstances. In my opinion, kind of saying the same thing that Ms. Muir said, this home has needed TLC for so many years. It's just lovely to see a nice couple coming to give it some.
When we're discussing the windows, can we also discuss the removal? Because there's going to be removal of these windows and stuff too. So that's it.
Absolutely.
One part in all of it too. The only I don't have a problem with the windows. I'd like to hear what other people have to say about the removal of windows, and I would like to hear what other people on the board have to say about the slider glass doors.
Ms. Pierce.
I do love the packet. Again, like Miss Elizabeth said, thank you for all the detail. That's very handy. Looking at the sliding door at first, I was opposed to it, but it is on the very back side of the house. It's not going to be seen from the road. It does have, you do have the characteristic of the elements there to keep with the house. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I do like the character you're bringing back into it, and like it was mentioned before, as long as the windows are removed and you're not putting in a larger window though than what is currently there, or putting a smaller window that is currently there. Honestly,
And there's also removal of not having any where there were.
yeah, and it's like I said before, it's in the very back of the house. It's not like they're doing it to the very front of the house to where it's changing the curb appeal. I mean, right now, technically they have a crank window. I mean, that definitely is not period correct. It needs to be removed and siding put back. I agree with that. But I am not opposed to it. I like the plans. I like the layout. I have a historical home as well, and energy efficiency is, I mean,
Ms. Pierce is another neighbor of yours.
yes, I'm on the other side. I'm kind of a block around. But, and again, this house has needed some love for a very long time, and I'm glad that it's finally getting that love, but I am not opposed to any of it.
That is not a question for me. That is a question for city staff. Ms. Vogt.
In this packet, is this the slider that we're talking about, the French slider?
No, the slider.
I thought it was in the beginning.
Might have been on this a lot,
It's
so I
On
wasn't.
page 6,
Page 6, so boy,
Ms. Ward.
I'm on 42, that won't work, will it? Here it is. Page 6.
It's page 37 of your packet, but page 6.
There it is.
Okay, 37. Okay, thank you. Bear with me. Oh, okay.
It's black framed. and
It's
not
it's
like-
attractive. Yes, I do like that. It doesn't look like a slider. I like it.
All right, do we have any more thoughts, observations about windows and doors? If not, where would we like to go?
I would like to go ahead and make a motion to proceed with what is presented to remove and replace the doors and windows.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce. Do we have a second?
I'll second it and also add the fact that they're going to be the dark color that you chose. Right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll second.
Excellent. We have a first and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Excellent. Moving on to item number 2, that was the removal of the exterior metal staircase, also the removal of a storage area that came with underneath the staircase, and the removal of the remnants of the detached building, which was possibly a garage, but at this point is pretty much a
Sure.
topiary. Do we have any discussion on that? Sorry.
You don't like a garage?
This-
We have a future COI coming in front of you for a small carport for a couple of Mini Coopers, so.
Gotcha. This probably is a no-brainer, but any discussion on that? If not, we're looking for a way to move forward.
I will go ahead and make a motion to remove the back staircase, exterior staircase, and
The accompanying
yes,
shed
the
thing?
shed shell thing.
and the detached.
Yeah, detached, I guess it's just detached structure.
In
Good
the
enough.
back,
As, I don't know what that is, but yeah, to remove the staircase and the detached structure.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce. Ms. Vogt, you seem poised.
Yeah. I'll second the removal of the staircase, the cement building that's underneath that little piece
Okay,
there.
yes.
And then the structure in the backyard that is made of cement too. I've seen it before.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We have a first, a second. Any more discussion? Excellent. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and opposed. All right, moving on to item 3, which is the replacement of a existing metal roof with another metal roof, only darker in color. Thoughts and observations?
I'm gonna beat you this time, Brianna, and I will.
Not a competition, ladies.
No, I'm just
She
playing.
had her hand resting on it like it was a buzzer.
And if someone would please give Ms. Beville and Mr. Hollister a chance here. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I will make. a
We're the fun
motion
board.
To approve to take the existing metal roof off, put on another one of like in the new color that you like. I forget, it was a Gale or, it's not gonna be, is it gonna, roof gonna be Gale Force or?
That would be the
It's gonna
paint.
be a-
Building,
Yeah.
the roof is gonna be
Darker.
black, black or a dark bronzy color.
All right, I make that motion to do that.
Thank you. So we have a motion to go ahead and approve the new slightly darker metal roof. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
That was quick of you, Ms. Beville. Thank you very much. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Excellent. Moving on to last but not least, the painting of the house. The only thing that I would like to say on this note is the color is very pretty, but we'll be discussing color here coming up in a moment. But for now, what we have asked historically is that the color be from a historical color palette. And I'm wondering if that might behoove us to ask you if there's a similar historic color from the Sherwin-Williams pattern swatch that is close to what you're doing. And I would defer to city staff to ask you if I'm reaching for something I may not have.
Well, as you know, we don't have a color palette
I-
to choose from, so we're going to be discussing in your workshop. So
I
at this
did,
point, whatever color they choose.
okay, but what and yes, I absolutely did notice the additional 400 pages in my packet.
Right.
But in the past, historically, what we've said is just make sure they're historic colors from the color palette. But if you're telling me all bets are off, then I would say I think the colors are lovely. And I'd like to hear from the other board members.
I don't have a, I'm sorry. I don't
Ms.
have a
Coe.
problem with the color. The only thing that I have a problem with is that we're trying to get some structure. And that's why we're having the meeting afterwards to try to work off of something and stay with that. So it doesn't look like we're, oh yeah, we like it today and next week we may say no,
And I agree wholeheartedly because this is something that we all have felt that we've needed. However, even though the homeowners, I believe, said that painting would not be for a while, I still don't feel that if they come to us before we have a color palette, we can tell them to wait until after we have a color palette. So I'm just kind of looking for direction and Ms. West, if you could chime in.
I concur with the planning director.
Okay, at the moment, there is no palette.
That's correct.
Okay, well, in that case, it should be a fairly simple decision. Who would like to move us forward? If there is no palette, then there is no palette, and we've received that direction from Mr. Agamo as well as our city attorney, Ms. West.
So it would behoove us to postpone.
I don't see that we can postpone based on a future decision that has not been made at the time that they put their application in good faith. Would you like to make a motion to approve the colors?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the colors.
Do we have a second? I'm not sure what the alternate would be. All right, so hearing that there is no,
I should be out of line. I know he's made a motion. Who would?
and for purposes of discussion, we actually need a second for the motion. Are you willing to make a second?
No.
Or no, okay.
So let me kind of walk you through here. I can't make the same motion again. Right. So for purposes of discussion, you have to have a second in order to proceed. That's all that a second does. It doesn't mean that you agree with it. It's just for purposes of discussion. So you have the only actual viable legal motion on the table. I suggest someone second it.
Thank you for that clarification, Ms. West.
Oh.
Is there a second?
I'll go ahead and second.
Thank you, Ms. Pierce. We have a motion and a second to approve paint colors based on the fact that indeed we have no paint palette. Any further board discussion? If not, are you comfortable with just all in favor, please say aye, or would you like the Madam City Clerk to call the roll? Okay, in that case, all in favor, please say aye. Aye, and opposed. Excellent. You are all wrapped up. Have a great day.
I did Google.
Come on up if you would. Yeah, if you would, go ahead and just make sure your microphone is on, so all of those hundreds of people listening at the moment are not missing anything.
I did Google colors of Victorian homes, and dark blue was a color that was utilized during the Victorian era. There are a few homes in the community that are darker blue. We are leaning towards the Gal Forest. It's the color we'd like to do. It's got in the sunshine, which this house gets full sun, west sun in the afternoon. I think it would just glow. It'd be really pretty. So I think it's appropriate for the Victorian homes. That's my take. And thank you very much for everything. We didn't know what to expect, and it's been positive. So thank you.
Well, excellent. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a workshop scheduled right behind this. May I make a suggestion that we just take a 10-minute break so facilities can be excellent? It is 4:44. Let's meet back at 4:55. Now we're back. Let's go ahead and address our workshop on the discussion of a historical color palette for our historic districts. I'll get started. I'd like to begin by saying thank you very much to city staff for such an amazingly comprehensive and huge packet, giving us four separate illustrations from four neighboring cities, St. Augustine, DeLand, Palm Coast, and Gainesville. It was a lot to get through, but I felt that it was invaluable. In looking through everything, I felt that the St. Augustine section was extremely comprehensive. Obviously, we would disregard things that were applicable to, too much before the Civil War. Certainly, we never had a first Spanish period, or if we did, nobody painted anything. I also kind of right off the bat discounted Palm Coast as being really too new a community to be comparable with what we have. I personally was very, very impressed with what the city of Gainesville did.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah, and then a little less impressed, but impressed nonetheless. It wasn't a bless your heart moment. Impressed nonetheless with what DeLand did over in Monroe. So based on that, to me, Gainesville and DeLand were kind of the winners. What were other people's thoughts if we poured through all this and killed a couple of rainforests?
Yeah.
I haven't really. Is this something that,
Apologies, but we're gonna do board discussion. Yeah.
does this say strictly here, or is this something that we can have a copy of or not?
Yeah, the cops will provide to you.
So this is for me.
Yes,
Yeah, it's for the board, to
Oh, because I want to
review, discuss it, and
you know what I mean?
The
binders
stay.
Yes,
And
but
take
but I
everything out
could, I could take it out and then I can return it. I just want to go look at it.
Well, and I should ask,
just the binder, that's all we,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's, she needs back the binder,
I just need the binder back.
Okay.
not the document, you can
Yeah.
keep the document.
The documents
Okay.
are all yours. That's
Thank
why
you.
they're-
Thank you.
but having said that, let me just, I believe that the idea is that we make a recommendation moving forward today.
Yes.
Ms. Vogt, are you in a position to make a recommendation if you have not had a chance to?
Yes,
review the
I
packet.
can, because I visit all these cities all the time. So.
Has everyone else had a chance to review and think deep thoughts and all of that sort of thing?
I'm impressed.
Okay, well, again, it is impressive. But the idea is that we don't recreate the entire wheel in order to make our recommendation. We take the hard work that other cities that are close to us and are similar have done, and we kind of piggyback on them and save staff
Agreed.
a lot of work. If no one has a specific opinion, I believe our alternate member, Ms. Rosa, would like to come and address us.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that if we're actually going to get down to the nitty gritty of like looking at colors, it might be better with a smaller group of people. And that's what a suggestion I'd like to make, rather than have the entire board and then have that just the same way that we actually did the pamphlet. The idea was talked about. It left this committee, 2 people, I believe, from the committee took it and worked on it, brought it back. We talked about it and it happened. I just think it would be easier. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rosa. Ms. Vogt.
I would not be okay with that.
No.
But thank you for your suggestion. Didn't mean it the way it came out. I would like the whole board to do it.
And apologies, but that kind of led back to are we in a position to make some sort of a recommendation today? If at least one of us has not really had time to adequately review the material.
Right, so this is a workshop, right? That's what was called at the last meeting, and this has been publicly noticed as a workshop. You cannot make any decisions, any action at a workshop. The point of this, excuse me, is to discuss the material before you. And then when you reconvene, you can have it, you ask staff to have it placed on the agenda for an actual decision.
Okay.
If after workshopping it today, you find that you're still requiring more time, you can schedule another workshop. You can workshop this to death if you want to, but
Yeah.
you can't make any action decisions today.
So can, apologies, can we make recommendations of what we want to see in the next packet? More or less, like, we like Miss Elizabeth said, things that were pre-Civil War really don't apply to us, so if we could have those sections taken out. Because it doesn't, I mean, I honestly don't think there's any houses older than that.
Sure, I mean, you can have another workshop, or you can simply discuss what is relevant here today and have a meaningful discussion. Since this was specially called for a workshop, I suggest you make
Yeah.
good use of this opportunity to
Yes,
have a
I think this
discussion.
is like our first, like, get down to it workshop to where we look at things and are able to discuss them. I mean, so I'm new to this part of it.
Yeah, I had wanted workshop, and it started with color because that's what we came up the last meeting. I would like to have more workshops on everything so that we are all on the same page and our city, see if there's any ordinances that we need to work with the attorney in reference to, because the city ordinance don't always, in my opinion, and people could disagree, don't fit for a historic district.
Okay, so.
And those are some of my concerns that I would like to see if we could like tune this up, and make it
Let
better.
me walk you through what would happen. The next time you reconvene as a board and you want to make a motion to have, certain criteria from, like, say, City of the Dillion incorporated into our code, we would be tasked with drafting an
Drafted it,
ordinance.
exactly.
It would be
Okay.
under the section of Historic Preservation Board within the code, and then you would actually have teeth, right? Because if a
Mhm.
color is painted on a certain house that doesn't meet the criteria that you've
Mhm.
explained, we can issue a code violation for that.
Okay.
The longer that you wait and workshop, the more
Yeah.
opportunities you're going to have with
Like
applicants
today.
coming here like today
Yes.
that are seeking to change the color, and you will not be able to say no from a legal standpoint
Yeah.
until you actually have this codified in a code. The ordinance requires 2 readings, okay? So your recommendation is going to go to the city commission. They're the only ones that get to make the ordinances. So they're gonna have to approve of your recommendation. Then there will be a first reading and then a second reading, and then it becomes adopted into the code. So you're a couple steps away.
Yeah, but
the
it's a
longer that
beginning.
you wait,
Mhm.
you
It's a
will not
beginning,
be able
yes.
to enforce your criteria on.
I guess I'm saying,
Jane,
I want some teeth.
In addition to that, I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that we do not have a pilot today. And we're going to be adopting one that could be construed to be restrictive in light of 180. I don't know where we're going to be. I don't think so, but it's something that we need to think about, where we're going to be precluded or we're going to be subject, to some sort of
I'm sorry, in light of
Challenge.
180?
There was a bill that was passed this last legislative session, Senate Bill 180, which basically preempts local governments from adopting restrictive land use regulations.
whatever you have today, you cannot be more restrictive.
Restrictive, yeah. There
Yeah,
is a
just
class
thinking.
action lawsuit that was just filed
Yep.
this week. And there is a real effort to have a glitch bill this upcoming legislative session to fix that very onerous bill. But the planning director's right.
Yeah.
My question to you in that, to understand better, is I don't think that we're trying to adopt things that are not in other cities in normal historic neighborhoods, criterias like paint colors, structures, like for like, all of that is always, not always, but in all the historic districts. So in that particular case, is that what you're, doesn't seem like it's the same thing to me. I'm not going to say, okay,
No, it will
It-
definitely be
it-
considered more restrictive.
pardon me?
It would definitely be considered more restrictive than what we
Right.
have now.
You could have.
Well, because we don't have any, too much of anything right now.
Right, so
Exactly.
any
So
additional.
right
verbiage
now
would
So
be
we don't really
restricted.
have a historic district.
Right now, they can come with any color like today. And because we don't have any standard. However, in the future, someone might come. Let's say that we do pass a palette of colors, for the historic district. And someone is affected, so well, you adapted something that's much more restrictive and you're not consistent with the statute.
Okay,
And then we're subject to,
if,
litigation.
if I understood correctly, things that we have done in the past, what have been our benchmarks are not going away.
Right,
This-
exactly.
Because it
Whatever
is
we have
something,
today,
quote, new.
right, you can
So-
be more liberal, in your standards, regulations, according to this bill, but not more restrictive.
You could be less, but not more.
Yeah.
Because before you couldn't have metal sheds.
Basically, what this bill is taking away the,
yeah.
the local government authority, to control growth and development.
But I don't, before we couldn't have metal garages and then now we can. So that's on the liberal side of what you're saying, but those don't really go with historic neighborhoods because that is not, the usual, but I'm sorry, I just want to get this thing
Yeah,
out.
I mean,
It's bothering me
Yeah.
because
It's not a question about the
it's-
merit.
I'm picking colors from historic charts that are kind of standard is not, like what you're saying, being restrictive.
No, it is.
Well, tell me how. So somebody could paint their house purple
Right,
with,
you are-
with polka dots and
you
that's
are-
okay?
You are restricting the color palette that they currently are able to.
In other words, if we
Right.
had made this decision a year ago, it would have
Exactly.
already been established and we
Right,
wouldn't have had to
exactly.
worry about it.
Yeah.
But here we sit now and a law is just passed, which ties our hands to some extent. Now, it may be overturned or it may not. We don't really know.
Right.
But at the
But
moment.
it is the law right now.
At the moment, it is the law. And, frankly, if it has always been the unspoken rule, well, not unspoken, the spoken rule, when someone brings you a historical paint color and they want to use that historical paint color in a historic district, the offices that you currently are in have said it has to be part of the historic color palette. So to me, that is the backup. I can't see how we could
But
all
we
of a
don't have a
sudden.
palette. That's an standard.
Well, we did years ago when I
we
was
did.
here. I've been here 30 years in all three districts. And we had that Sherwin-Williams palette.
Is it codified? No.
Right, and Lorenzo asked a very good question. Is it codified? It is not in your code, okay? So
not in your
neither is the requirement for wooden sheds. It's not in the code. That may have been what was always done and what you're used to, but unless it's in the code, we can't enforce it.
But we
Now-
don't have anything in the code for historic. What do we
You-
have?
no, You do. You have an
Well-
entire section called the historic districts. It doesn't have a lot of teeth in it, but you do have it in the code. Now, my advice to you in terms of moving forward in light of SB 180 is to move forward.
Right.
Okay, we don't know what's going to happen with the lawsuit and the upcoming legislative session. What you're embarking on now is going to take time over the course of months, quite frankly. So I would suggest you at least engage in what you
Mhm.
decided to workshop here today, which is the paint colors, and move forward in the process,
agree.
and we'll deal with it on the tail end.
Okay, on that note too, and I agree, could we have a copy of what our code is that we can work under on the historic? Because
Absolutely, it's available online.
I know, but I would like a copy of it. I just don't, I'm,
Thanks.
I need to see it.
You need a
so,
tangible copy.
Yes, I want to see it.
Well, okay.
If you want, we can provide a copy to you.
Thank you.
Email to you. or
That way I
give you a free
understand
copy.
what is and what
There's a
isn't.
whole section in the code that relates to historic preservation for the
It's-
your
yeah.
responsibility, your duties, and.
It's
and then-
it's real liquid.
And then the
the one that
certificate
I
of
read is very
appropriateness,
liquid.
what is a certificate, what are the standards? It's all in the code.
Yeah, because it always says, under the Interior, Department of Interior and stuff, and it's all very liquid, the language. There's no,
Well,
It's
a
all, those are
recommendation,
guidelines,
yeah.
actually.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
well,
no structure.
back to the task at hand. I noticed in reading through the packet that the Deland color scheme seemed to mostly relate to its central business core. That seemed to be predominantly where they were focusing their time and energy. Whereas the Gainesville component seemed to cover all levels of age, architecture, et cetera, et cetera. So just again, as a thought on where I was leaning.
Are we looking to just like
Well,
take one area, like, let's say we choose Gainesville because they seem to be the closest to us? Is that what the board's looking like, just for one or two, or what? How
Well,
we-
according to what Ms. West told us, and she is absolutely bang on as usual, today we're just chatting about it. The thing that is just, I mean, concerning to me is even if we said, well, hey, let's take a closer look at what Gainesville is doing, it's a couple hundred pages. I just don't know that we're prepared to keep city staff here half the night while we read through a couple hundred pages.
Well, I have to say,
we can come back.
I'm
Well,
roughly
we can
going,
absolutely plan another workshop and we
Yeah.
can use our time wisely to, on our own time,
Yeah.
go through and really
I have to
understand.
say, looking through the game, it has a lot of other components in here that don't just pertain to paint. There's also the history, layout of the city. So I mean, there's a
Right.
lot of stuff in here that really I'm not talking about today, that we're not workshopping about today. I'm still going through it though. I'm trying to find. I mean, because we're really looking more for, like y'all were saying, teeth on paint colors, like something that we can refer them to. And also, we've also said in the past that they had a paint sample of a color they like, they could bring it to us and see if there's one on the historical palette that's similar to it. And that would be a good starting ground. And I don't think that would be tight restrictions, but,
Well, again, what I'm hearing is while that might have been what was done, it was not actually codified in any way that this is
Yeah.
what we do.
yeah.
So therefore, it's basically null and void at this point. Is that correct, Ms. West?
He's researching.
Yeah.
I haven't written myself in
Yeah.
this time.
But again, what I'm getting out of this is just because suggesting that homeowners bring us a color from a historical palette that says, HC, historical color, even though it was something we might have done in the past, it was never put into how we do business, therefore it no longer exists.
Looking at the land's code, because we have this on page 451. We have this information from the city of Deland that says the chart is urban green swatches. So your reliance historically on Sherman-Williams historical swatches is only justified. You could just easily have one sentence in the code that says the approved color shall be Sherman-Williams historical swatches. Period.
Yeah.
It can be that easy.
Okay,
Something to think about. We're workshopping some
Yeah.
decisions, but that's how easy you can make it.
and I'm okay with easy. I just want something.
In the past, it's always been go to Sherwin-Williams and make sure it's on a historic chart.
I have to say, I do like the breakdown that St. Augustine has where they have it to that time period. I do like that because, I mean, what happened like in the 1840s, the colors were one way, but what happened later on, I mean, I think it keeps more to the characteristics of the Holmes period in which it was built. I do like that because you can go down there and get a color palette from the 1920s. It might be pink. Well, that might not have been the historically correct color for that time period the house was built.
Well, which of course gets into the problems that we've already faced over the years, which is that Victorian interior color
Mhm.
that you want to paint the exterior of your home is still a historic color.
Yeah, 'cause-
And the different arrows too.
yeah.
Mhm.
And like I said, like, they actually have it marked. This is the body.
Mhm.
And then as you go through it, I do like that they even said that even though it was not on the palette that they had suggested, which now I've lost my page. But it said at the top, white was a commonly used color and can be used, even though it wasn't on their palette. It said that those colors were also mentioned. I do like how they have that in addition to the color palette. But I do like the breakdown, and then that would be more, your house was built between this period and this period. These are our suggestions, kind of thing, instead of just
Have
saying,
by period.
you're correct to
period.
the
Yeah,
time the
I think
house was
that-
built.
Because we do have cement houses, block
Yeah,
houses and
yeah,
stuff
they-
like that, that would, they could have a
Mhm.
color that's goes with that
Goes with
period of time and it's historical.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because I mean, we
not
have grand Victoria
Victorian
homes.
ones,
We
yeah.
ha- I mean, we do have very nice Victoria homes,
Right.
but that doesn't mean we want to use the Key West palette, even though that's a historical palette.
Mhm.
We're not Key
Exactly.
West, we're not tropical, we're
Agreed.
Northern state. I
Agreed.
mean, I think we need to have it more for that house. The house was built in an X time frame. This is what we're suggesting for that house. And I did look in here, there is a broad spectrum on some of these, 1840 to 1870. I mean, that's a pretty big areas, and that gives a lot of options. I mean, you have a 1870 to 1890. I mean, that's a broad spectrum, and they really don't change much between the two, but at least this gives kind of an idea of a starting point, I guess is. I mean, I do like the, like I said, I like St. Augustine because we are close to them, but they are very Spanish and their color scheme, but then Gainesville is a little bit closer, to a little bit more the inland kind of structure is what we have here. So I do like the,
Could that statement be something like that we suggest? You use the word suggest, that you use the Sherwin-Williams palette or whatever, just for words.
No, because that has no teeth.
yeah, I think
Okay,
shall
we want to have, I want teeth. Okay, I was just trying to
That's how you.
work within the lines. Okay. All right.
shall or may use.
So
Yeah, I was just trying to loosen up a little bit.
if we've got specific colors for the historic districts, if somebody has a color on their house, it's not in the palette, do they get in trouble?
No,
No.
that would be
No.
grandfathered.
That'd be grandfathered.
It would be anything brought to us from this point forward, correct? Correct. Yeah. I mean, we can't rewrite history, so
There's
just
no
let that
retroactive application.
be done in the past. Okay.
I lived in the village of Cooperstown, and the whole village was considered historic. And one doctor wanted to paint his house a certain color. The village gave him a hard time. He fought it in court and won. And to really emphasize his annoyance, he painted, it was a multi-sided house, pink, purple, bright green, bright yellow. Just to, you know, you can't, you know.
Let's
so-
not make suggestions to people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no one's come up with that idea yet, Mr. Hollister, so.
Other places though, don't allow colors.
Yeah.
Like in Telluride, Colorado, you know, if you're gonna put a new structure, it has to be rusted.
Mhm.
Actually, it has to be the color rusted.
Well, let me ask this, might the thing to do, moving forward, because as you said, we can workshop this again, is to look at two cities.
Mhm.
My thought would be St. Augustine and Gainesville. Give them a real deep dive in the next month and then come back with a lot more information, a lot more questions,
Mhm.
a lot more thoughts, except for what page was that? God, I lost my place again.
I know, I haven't found my poster.
Yeah.
in this big
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, and yes, I mean, we do have their information.
And basically, if it doesn't pertain to paint,
We don't need it. right
yeah,
now.
don't
Because,
look
I
at
mean,
that
when you're
page.
looking at this, like height, roof forms. I mean,
Yeah.
That's
No,
not
just paint.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
Paint.
I think we can eliminate a few trees. I mean, but right now I think we need to focus on the paint colors to the period. And like Miss Elizabeth said, let's keep it focused more on Gainesville and St. Augustine. Because those are our closest cities with major historical areas.
Well, and getting back together at the November meeting to workshop some more, now that we've, narrowed it down and we really know what we're talking about, to me makes a lot more sense.
And is it possible we could have the information just a little sooner? Because, well, I guess if it's gonna be condensed, we're probably okay. Yeah.
Well, I believe we already have the
Well, yes,
information,
but I know you had said dive more into those areas.
but I mean,
guess
just
we're-
what we have, they printed everything, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, you, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't believe we're missing a thing. If anything, we have too much information.
Yeah, yeah, well, you have. a point.
Sometimes.
You have a point. Yeah, I'm gonna have.
So,
colors.
question for staff, can they keep the binders if their workshop next?
Yeah, you definitely keep those binders if we, because we're gonna workshop them.
And then return it when you're
Just
done with the
return them.
workshop?
That would be great.
I'm just sitting here thinking like,
Sorry.
I'm just sitting here thinking like, how in the world I'm gonna get this out to the cardboard? Please don't let it be windy. Or I'll be chasing papers down the street.
What about
Definitely
this
keep them.
information from the meeting?
Because the commissioners don't use them anymore, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Rosa, you had something for us? Would you mind just the microphone? Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wanted to follow up on something that Brianna said, which I think is critically important. About when you do this, there are certain colors that are okay for trim, but not for the whole house. And I think you pointed out that that needs to also be done.
Mhm.
And I don't think it'll be difficult. The only other thing I had to say is that since we're doing this, do we want to give people a choice of Sherwin-Williams and Benjamin Moore? Because Benjamin Moore,
I don't know that we can limit to what paint company you use. What you
Okay.
basically do is you take the Sherwin-Williams swatch and you
Yeah.
can take it to pretty much any paint company you want and you say match
yeah,
this.
yeah, I know that, but I'm saying that the Benjamin Moore colors, because of what I used to do for a living, obviously, I was a Benjamin Moore international account. I know how much and I used to work for Sherwin-Williams. So I know them both. And I'm just thinking as an option, you might want to look at the colors from both. And then as a toss-up, use both, use some of each. If you want to get that severely into what's the color going to be, I don't know. But I do know, compared to Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore has done more research on historic color. So that's just what I know. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just have a statement.
Ms.
So
Biville.
if you look at the St. Augustine historic colors, they actually do Benmore and Sherwin-Williams.
Yes.
So, they're interchangeable.
They are. All right, what is the pleasure of the board? Do we want to have a much closer look at the St. Augustine and Gainesville information and then get back together at the November meeting?
Yes, I say we focused on Gainesville, St. Augustine. Eliminate the other information that's given to us since it does not pertain to paint.
Hmm.
And let's present it at the next board and
That will give us all time to really digest.
yes,
Okay.
I think.
I think that is fair enough. Do we need to do anything?
Motion.
Okay, so just so I have some clarity here from the clerk, you want another workshop or you want this agended on your next board meeting so you can make a decision?
I would say the agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to go
Agreed.
ahead and get this taken care of because I fear that if we prolong it any further, we may have consequences.
Okay.
Thank you. I concur.
I do too.
All right, moving on to other business. Anything? No? Moving on to board member comments. I just had one. I just wanted to note that I was dropped off a packet by Diane Taylor with regard to the Episcopal Church St. Mary's facility down on St. John's Avenue. They're interested in trying to get some sort of a historical designation for it. I brought the paperwork to the city and Staff again is absolutely wonderful. They're looking into what part we may play as a historical board in assisting in this. And it sounds as though this is something that we might even be addressing on next month's agenda.
Yes.
So just letting everybody know what's going on there. How about staff comments?
No comments.
No comments? No comments?
No, I'll only share that for those of you who knew Shan Puritan, she worked extensively over at the community garden by the Waterworks facility. And she got the Waterworks facility to have the designation as a National Historic Place. She went to Tallahassee with a lot of the other gardeners. It was actually an extremely cool experience. So if you are able to get to that point with this particular St. Mary's Church, I would strongly encourage you to go to Tallahassee to the Division of Historic Resources. It's just a very cool experience and immerse yourself into the history up there.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thank you. And, I felt as well that it was information that was worth us knowing.
Mhm.
Anyway, I guess I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I guess, yeah, motion.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
All right, awesome.